I am so glad you are here. It is Energy Sunday in my world, so let's talk a little bit about Reiki paths and choices you now have if you want to learn Reiki. You can learn traditional Usui Reiki. The American style is now distinguished from the Japanese style. And I'm going to say, when I read the descriptions of both, that I do a mix when I train people in Reiki. But the American style, the thinking is that there's been more emphasis placed on the symbols and the non-English terminology, learning those magic words, as it were, where the Japanese Usui tradition emphasizes the importance of meditation in healing work. I'm going to say that the terminology, the symbols, all of those things are keys to help you focus and meditate. And there are people who need a physical reminder to meditate or a mantra to repeat in their head to stay focused in their meditation, and that these are really good tools. But I'm going to agree with the Japanese, or at least how the Japanese Usui practice has been represented to me, as really more reliant on the meditative process, being in the right state to allow that energy from the universe, from God, however you think of it, to come through me and affect my client positively. Because that's the only way that kind of energy can affect my client, right? We've talked about you can't do negative Reiki. It kind of negates your initiations and elevations. It's just not a thing. But there have been plenty of other pathways that have come up over the years. So, for example, there is what came to be called the radiance technique. That's from one of the 11 people Takata, the person who introduced Reiki to the US, developed because she worked very closely with Takata, with her teacher, and claimed that she got additional initiations and was the only person to have the full Reiki attunements, because Takata perhaps developed a couple more, 2 or 3 more before she passed. I don't know the veracity of that, but that's out there as the potential way to expand and enhance if you already have your Usui Reiki, more traditional initiations, and are a master teacher in that path. There are other disciples of Takata or people immediately from Takata who played with energies and how they work with energy to develop new systems. One added in a touch of an Egyptian motif to what they do because they found it to be effective. Gosh, and yeah, I'm looking at this book because it's keeping me focused on a few of these choices. There's Tara May, which again, one of those things where, I'm going to look at what the expansion work that somebody else has done, work with it a bit myself, and find my own responses and reactions to it and develop a new tradition within Reiki. And that's what a lot of these are, whether we're talking about the Karuna, which is very much the same kind of thing, or Shambhala, which, that one really keeps in mind things like Atlantis. Saint Germain is the energy that was being felt by the person who developed that system according to their experience of it. Shamanic Reiki, which is much more freeing, and Chaos Reiki, also much more freeing. In some ways, you can almost use those words interchangeably, but not quite. In both cases, the individual is often saying, I have Reiki training, I am well grounded in Reiki, I am a Reiki second, third master teacher, what have you, but I'm going to follow my gut. I'm going to recommend everybody do that. If you already have a symbolic system that brings you to a similar space that Reiki brings you to, I don't see anything wrong with beginning to combine those symbols. I think it can enhance the healing effects, so I recommend it. There's Vajra Reiki, which again is one of those people that fuses Reiki with another system. There's magnified healing, which is really similar to Reiki, but isn't quite the same thing. There's Blue Star Reiki from South Africa. There's Wei Chi Tibetan Reiki. These are later developments. But if that doesn't encourage you to use a traditional Reiki process as a foundational piece in your Reiki practice, from which you can expand in ways that work best for you and your relationship with higher power, with your clients, with yourself. I'm going to say go for it. So, in the meantime, thank you so much for being your magical you and doing all the magical things you can do, including, yeah, the likes, subscribes, comments, shares, all that jazz. But on behalf of myself and everybody here at the shop in Minneapolis, I thank you for watching and doing all those things. And we all hope to see you soon, either here at the shop at 2520 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis or online at megusbooks.com. In the meantime, have a great week and blessed be.